Good afternoon to you, our viewers. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Punch Sports Extra. My name is Shegun Odwan. It's another Monday, and it's time for us to talk sports and happenings in and around the world of sports, like we always do at this time every Monday. I'm not alone, of course. I never ever do this alone. If I'm the one on this side of the room, I also have Abiodun Adewale here with me, and together we're bringing you 29-30 good minutes of analysis all around the world of sports. And you know I always begin every Monday by this time. At this time, we begin with the front page of Point Sports Extra, and there are two bold and big faces, of course, representing the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the moment. But no, this time around they have the jerseys of their football club on. Of course, like I said, they are players of the Nigerian national team. Wilfred Ndidi made his 400th league game ever. I mean, tells you that he must have been around for a while. Equally, there was somebody else close to him on the front page, Tolu Arokodare, who has done half of what Wilfred Ndidi has done. So you know that Wilfred no be small boy. 200 games for club for Tolu Arokodare. Of course, you know him. He's the journeyman. He's been in Belgium. He's now in England. But the real journeyman is the man close to him on the front page of Punch Sports Extra, the Prince edition. Wilfred Ndidi, 400 games ever playing football. Be able to quick one. These guys, they've done it. Especially Wilfred Ndidi. They've done it front, right, back, left, center, wherever. Genk, Belgium, England, Turkey. Oh my goodness.
A career that has spanned 10 years. Wilfred Ndidi came out at about 2015 too. When he didn't even make it as an underage, as an age grade player for Nigeria. But he was good enough to eventually get a shot at stardom. He was supposed to be part of the under-17 team.
Yeah, he didn't make it, but he was part of the under-20
But then he was good enough to be called back and say, come play in the under-20. And that was the only opportunity he needed. And look at him today. 400 games at club level. A similarity between him and Tolu Arokodare is that their careers bloomed at Belgium. While
Tolu was highest goal scorer.
Tolu was highest goal scorer and the best African player last season in Belgium. Wilfred Ndidi at a point in the early days of his career was also, if not for the same club, was it Genk or Gent, also played in Belgium.
Wilfred was in Genk.
Tolu was also in Genk.
Tolu was in Genk. At different times.
At different times. Yeah. So very good career, and from there, Wilfred moved to England at Leicester City, won the FA Cup. Played almost, became very important before he went to the relegation with them,
came back with them
again before they finally let him go. And look at him at
they went down, and then the guy was like,
and look at him at Besiktas, assistant captain in his first season with the club. That's the level of experience that he carries, and that's how important he is to his current club. And for Tolu too, his career is just for a player that has that is just trying to get his feet up, get his head up in football. To have played 200 games to means he's been doing a lot.
He celebrated his 25th birthday a couple of days ago.
So he's been doing a lot that people have not really been paying attention to. Now he's at Wolves. You just want to wish him well and hope he doesn't go down.
Well, I was posting online, a couple of days ago, I said, for a team to have been relegated in November, perhaps it's woe onto Wolves because, you know, you can't really be too sure. November, and they're already where they are with 2 points. Making it to safety is something I don't think they would. But, you know, in football, you never know where the biscuit to crack, and you never say never. Still sticking with the front page of Punch Sports Extra, the print edition, still talking about players of the Super Eagles, but representing their clubs this time around. There's a Samuel Chukwueze who is glad, which is man of the match performance. I watched that game, Biodu, and I was asking myself, is this the same Samuel Chukwueze of the Super Eagles?
You know the problem with Samuel Chukwueze, maybe at national team level or even at club level, Chukwueze finds it difficult to string good games consecutively. That's his major problem. You know, he might give you 2 good games, then in the next 2 or 3 matches again, gives you some mid performances, comes back again, gives you some high level, high octane football. Then he does that in and out. But during tournaments too for Nigeria, I think the best that I've seen him was at the 2019 AFCON in Egypt, when he was even just freshly injected into the national team as well. Then at club level, the best I've seen was at Villarreal, when he was a constant starter. Not too many goals, but he was always going to play. And that tells you one thing. he was probably made for the La Liga because that is a league that thrives on players' technicality.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
agree.
players with technical abilities thrive so well in that league. Unlike the Premier League or maybe the Italian Serie A, when you need a bit of physicality and all of that, might be difficult. But I like the fact that in the last 2 weeks now, Marco Silva has charged him and he has risen to the occasion. 2 assists back to back.
Yeah, even though the second one was a mistake. But we'll take it.
Assist na assist.
Yeah.
Anyhow is a how. And of course, he got the legend of the match in their last game, the previous game. Then the EPL player of the match in this one. So it tells you how important it is at the moment. So he hadn't even started any game for them before this weekend. So it only means one thing. Marco Silva will begin to trust him.
And he's on loan.
And give him more responsibility.
So perhaps he may even get the deal.
Exactly. 25 million euros to buy him at the end of his loan deal. So this is, if there is a way to convince your employer that I'm worth the bargain,
this is the time.
This is how to do it.
All right, still sticking with the front page of Sports Extra, the print edition. Rafinha. Yes, the same Rafinha of Barcelona is said to be wanted by Newcastle. And Newcastle may just be doing enough in coming months to get the Brazilian. Biodun, this was a man that was with Leeds. He helped them not go down relegation on the last day, and he kneeled from one end of the pitch to the other, where he said he was praying, and that was the Brazilian style. And then he got that big break to Barcelona, and then he was doing so well. Ballon d'Or, people were tipping him for Ballon d'Or. Unfortunately, somehow he fell in the PR race to his colleague Lamine Yamal.
I like that English.
Yeah, it was PR race because he had more statistics, more goals,
probably than
Lamine Yamal.
Than even Dembele.
Then he went online to rant. And I think he isn't having it too good with his manager at the moment too, because there was a video of them having a discussion over the weekend, and you know, lots and lots of thoughts. And now Newcastle, this man went from grass to grace. And is Newcastle exactly grass or grace?
Who leaves Barcelona and goes to Newcastle United?
Looks like grass to me, man.
I don't know. You probably
except for the money.
Even if you have to leave Barcelona, if you are going to Real Madrid, you become sworn enemies.
Of course. Ask Figo.
So exactly. So if you are leaving a team as top as Barcelona, even if you are going to Liverpool, you are going to PSG, you only take solace in the fact that okay, they are top clubs in their own leagues, but not at the level of FC Barcelona. For Rafinha, maybe it's one thing about Brazilian players as well. I don't think he has dropped the ball. He's only been injured for a number of weeks before now. That is why we've not really seen most of his flashes. And of course, a player that did it with Leeds United in the Premier League and has proven himself at the highest level of football too with Barcelona. Maybe just also prove it again with the Brazilian national team at the World Cup. So maybe that's just what is left for him. He has so much statement to make. When I saw the story linking him to Newcastle too, I was like, wow, this is incredible. But then, incredible for Newcastle, but then
perhaps not too good news for him.
For him, not the best of transfers.
Away from football, but still sticking with Punch Sports Extra, the print edition, Nathaniel Ezekiel has been awarded and rewarded by Baylor. I mean, if you follow athletics, you know how well Nathaniel Ezekiel has had it good this past season, even though the new athletics season is almost upon us. But last season, he did so well at the World Championships. He ended 4th, he became 3rd, and then he went back to 4th. But Nathaniel Ezekiel, without a doubt, Nigeria's biggest male athletic star at the moment. Of course, yes, Koinsola Ajayi, but if you're talking about somebody who has come to the party, who is, you know, digging into the big wigs, I think Nathaniel has had a very, very wonderful season.
Fantastic. You know, this is a guy that, personally, even as a journalist, when I try to mention the records that this guy has broken, I always have to look at my books because I lost count of
what he has done.
Only in 2025, breakout season, graduating from the NCAA, going pro at the same time, and he was making big statements in the transitioning from a college athlete to a professional athlete. And look at what he did at the World Championship. Look at what he did at his debut, on his debut at the Diamond League as well. So it's massive. He's been nominated for this award earlier this year, but then just before they do the award ceremony, maybe sometime next year too, his college are still very much proud of him, of what he's been able to do.
Baylor.
And what a way to, what else would you want to do for that son that you are indeed proud of? That is just the story of Baylor and Nathaniel. And interestingly too, some other Nigerian athletes have been, it's signing season in the NCAA now. At least we've had
There's
about
a girl
four.
I saw a young girl who moved recently.
Yeah, we've had about 4 Nigerian athletes who've been signed. Perhaps all of them are very good prospects. But perhaps the biggest one for me was the lady from this school in Abuja, Miracle Ezechukwu, who also got signed by one of the schools in the USA as well.
NCAA, here we come.
Watch out for that lady. In the next 2-3 years, you'll be seeing her lining up for Nigeria at the biggest events.
You know, one wonders why all of our stars, especially when it comes to athletics, they need to be signed into the NCAA before their glory manifests.
You know,
it just shows.
Yeah, it's a problem with the system here. And if you ask people like Olusoji Fashuba, who's done it, African record holder at some point, they will tell you that to solve our problem in athletics, our guys need to stop going to the NCAA, because that system, as much as it helps them, as much as it grooms them,
take your years.
It burns them out in such a way that, especially consider a year like 2025 when you have to run at the World Championships and all of that, you have to combine the NCAA calendar with that kind of calendar too. So it makes it difficult. But what would these guys do when there is no system?
That's the only hope.
That is the
only hope.
You
tell somebody in your family you are not going to the end. That's your biggest miracle.
That is the biggest thing that can happen to you. So especially when you don't even have competitions that can keep you busy at home or even on the continent, it's a big problem.
All right, that'll be all from us from Punch Sports Extra, the print edition this morning. We'll be going into the meat of the show proper. And where else do we begin from? But from the biggest game yesterday, Chelsea up against Arsenal. I mean, big teams, big moments for them, especially in the last couple of days. And, you know, a team that is doing well from both ends, and these are guys with a lot of history. Yesterday at Stamford Bridge, they shared the spoils. Perhaps both managers will take that home and you know, just be happy with the growth. Chelsea perhaps will be fine that after the red card early on in the game, they got something out of it, and Arsenal will also be happy because they went down and had to force themselves back into reckoning, and also be glad that, you know, they didn't leave Stamford Bridge without anything. And a good one for both managers at the end of the day, if they are being honest.
Well, if they are being honest, but if you ask me, as much as most of us want to say that this might be the time for Arsenal to really push on that, I think we should also use the same energy to say that Chelsea should not be ruled out. If anybody has to give Arsenal a run for their money too, it probably will be Chelsea. What they did yesterday was superb. Playing with 10 men, holding your own, going up against them, and the other team had to force the so-called title contenders had to force their way back into the game. Stuff of champions from Arsenal, but then I don't expect you to be pressured that much when you have to play against 10 men. Although it's away from home, but I see more as a 2 points dropped for Arsenal. Those are the kind of games they should be capitalizing on.
But they had to come back from a goal down to even get something.
It's the problem. The game was 0-0 before Caicedo's red card, and you need to see how some of their folks also celebrated Caicedo's red card too, as if it was going to do the miracle for them. But eventually, in the end, they were the one who had to find their way, force their way back into the game, and ensure that they got 1 point. So it was an opportunity to just extend, also add some more points to their tally on the table. But eventually, it's 1 point for both clubs at the end of the day. Chelsea will be the most pleased, if you ask me, because whether you are playing at home or anywhere or no man's land, if you are playing with 10 men against a formidable team like Arsenal, then and you got a draw, you should be very pleased.
Thankful. All right, for Alexander Isak, perhaps the pressures have been taken away from his shoulders because he got his first Liverpool goal, and the man celebrated like never seen before. His teammates weren't exactly too pleased. They weren't really celebrating. Even when Gakpo scored the second goal, there was little or no, gesture from him. And even an Slot, who was just fine to take away the 3 points and, march on to the next day. But for Alex, perhaps it's the beginning of new things to come.
Yeah, what a relief that was. How many games has he gone in the Premier League? He hasn't scored. It was match day 14 already, and it's worrisome for its player of that caliber. 120 million to get him into the colours of Liverpool. And it wasn't just about the money; it was about the every attitude that followed that transfer. He wasn't going to play for Newcastle again and all of that.
Strike.
So if you were going to go on strike at your former team, only to end up at the team you want to,
Isak.
so only to end up at the team you want to go to, and you are not scoring. So it's a big problem. Now the confidence will be back. Just like you said, nobody really has. There is really nothing to celebrate at Liverpool for now. So let the team just begin to get the results together. Their season has broken apart already.
Yeah.
Let them just try to piece everything together. If they do this, maybe from now up until January, I like the fact that they also learn to play without Mohamed Salah.
He was on the bench.
He was.
What reaction would they be getting from the Egyptian king?
He will be going to the AFCON very soon. So I think the earlier the better. If the team finds a way to play him, if he comes back from the AFCON with a very good form, he walks straight into the starting lineup again. It's only for slots. It's only an headache for slots to just try to fix how do we set up again with Salah back. Look at Florian Wirtz. His best game for Liverpool so far.
But it's just West Ham, That's what some people are saying, that it's West Ham.
A poor team as well.
A poor team who, are trying to fight relegation and all of that.
So, but that's what you need for confidence. Even when you beat them, when you get the win, so you need it for confidence going into your next game.
All right, let's talk about Manchester City against Leeds. That was supposed to be a walkover, or so we thought. And many of us, triple captain, the striking Viking. Guess what? We got burnt. But for Manchester City, they almost lost more than what they were going to lose, because they never would have imagined that if they were going to drop points, it was going to be Leeds. But they needed an Englishman to come to the party, and towards the end, for that matter. He scored the first goal earlier on, and then somehow the game ended up being 2-2. But when it was almost time for the game to be rounded off, he came to the party again. I'm talking about 2 seasons ago's player of the season in England, Phil Foden. 3-2. I mean, you shouldn't be expecting a 3-2 in City versus
Leeds United, especially when the home team scores in the opening minute of the game. That was supposed to be a whitewash. They doubled the advantage.
6-0, 7-0, something.
But before you could say Jack and Robinson, it's 2-2, and they had to find a way to get him in. But good for Phil Foden, rejuvenation, so to say. He was nowhere near his best last season, and you begin to wonder, how did he even win Player of the Season? But then look at what happened. I guess what happened to him last year is what happened to Salah this season as well. It's just a dip in form. He will be back in shape. But good for Foden, good for Pep. How do you say this thing? You have to spare words for people like us who triple captained Erling Haaland during the weekend. And before you knew it, everything just went down the drain.
Just got burnt, sir. Manchester United almost got burnt. Thankfully, they had a second half, and they brought on their comeback spirits. In the first half, JP Mateta fell in the penalty box. Yes, rightly so, because he was impeded by Lenny Yoro. Step-up penalty. Well, he scored. VAR said, no, double leg or double take. I mean, he struck the ball with his right, hit his left on the way in, and he was to take it again. Remember, if the rule was last season, that would have been forfeited. But he took it again and sent the goalkeeper the wrong side, and it was 1-0. Second half, Manchester United came to the party with Bruno Fernandes getting 2 assists, and guys that have almost been forgotten by Manchester United fans. I'm talking about Joshua Zirkzee and Mason Mount getting the goals and getting 3 points for Manchester United. The manager of Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner, was virtually attacking the management of Crystal Palace, saying he told them that they needed to recruit, and that rather than invest, the management decided to save. And that now he plays in Europe on Thursday, and he has to also play weekend games. And that was the reason why he had lost. In fact, he has never won a game after playing on Thursday. Now Ismaila is going to Africa in a couple of days' time, and now he's wondering what's going to happen.
And the sad story about it again is that if they will do business in January, it's like restarting. They are probably refreshing the entire process again because they will lose one more player in January. Now they will buy. Are they buying to replace, or they are buying for quick? Using Uche. Or they are buying for quick fix. So it's a big problem. Glasner has his he has the words. It took him to make a statement of saying he was going to resign if McGay left for Liverpool in the summer as well, before they didn't let that guy go. So he tried as much as possible to protect his assets as a coach at Crystal Palace, but the management didn't really do a lot, especially in terms of spending money too. So if you weren't going to spend a lot of money, at least you would at least keep some of the assets that you had. But they were almost going to lose McGay, but still they didn't buy players. So now look at it, very valid excuse. If I play on Thursday, I don't win again on weekends. It becomes very, very impossible. And you look at the manner in which they lost against United as well. The worst they could have gone away in that game would have been a draw.
They shouldn't even have lost that game. In the first half, it was them and them alone.
Exactly.
And in the second half, it was so clear they were really frustrated and tired.
Exactly.
Manchester United manager was saying that he saw the way they were passing from the back, and he saw how slow all the players were.
Just have to,
and he told his boys to kick it in.
Just press them and you frustrate them, get your goals, and the game is over. So bad for Palace and Glasner, good for Amorim, particularly 9.5 Joshua Zirkzee. And of course, Mason Mount, the almost forgotten man. Very good for them. And so this time around, United's rejuvenation still continues. I think I like the fact that their fans are not all that sad these days. You know, before
they are used to it.
Before it used to be sad. They
are used to it.
But now they might be sad. They might be a little bit moody the next time.
Then they get happy.
Before, so I like how they switch in between those moods.
All right, moving on very quickly to what is happening in La Liga. Barcelona easily dispatched their opponents, but guess what happened to Real Madrid against Girona? They had to fight back thanks to a Kylian Mbappe penalty to get a draw. And now it looks like all is not well over there at Real Madrid. 1 point
at the moment. It was here we said it last week that
La Liga is now Barcelona is not top in La Liga.
La Liga, so
34-33.
34-33. So it was here we said it last week that Real Madrid cannot afford to drop any point, especially with the fact that I think Barcelona has an extra motivation. Number one, returning to Camp Nou. Every game they want to play there, especially knowing that you are still even going there eventually during the second half of the season. So it's a big issue, and you have to look at the issues beyond the pitch. Do the players really want Xabi Alonso? Do they really like how he deploys them on the pitch? Is there a problem in the dressing room? So these are some of the questions begging for answers too. And on the pitch too, you just want to look at the quality of play itself, how inspiring are these guys when they line up there. The last time we saw it, they struggled to play a 2-2 draw. This time around, it's a 1-1 draw. They even went down, had to get their equalizer through a penalty. So these are not good times for Real Madrid. Everything just has to be checked. Everything needs to be checked at the moment. And before you know it now, they were 4 points above Barcelona at some point. But now, they now trail them by 1 point. And we are heading into the winter break.
All right, very quickly, let's talk about AFCON. Of course, AFCON is a couple of days away. You know, it's December already. It's the new month. So it tells you that, in fact, South Africa has named their squad
today.
Nigeria should be coming soon. Very quickly, perhaps by the end of this week or maybe early next week, because camp should be opening anytime soon.
Camp should be opening by December 10.
Yeah, that's next week.
By next week.
Next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, is that 10th? So we should be getting a list, this week, without a doubt. It has to be this week.
But from what we understand, it might even be a preliminary squad first.
Before it prunes it down.
Before it is pruned
down. What players do we need and do not need right now? After what we saw with the disaster from World Cup qualification.
Interestingly, in terms of what players we need, We need players that are made for the national team. One.
What players are made for the national team?
Because some players come into the national team and they never take, regardless of how good they are at their club level. Number two, we need players that are in form to come into the national team.
So where does Paul Onuachu stand?
He stands in both cases. So he's in form. But then, when you look at him at the national team, there seems to be no space for him. But then, a coach will now have to look at it. How do I give these guys a chance? If Victor Osimhen is not playing, especially when you're talking about strikers, who plays? If Paul Onuachu is playing instead of Victor Osimhen, who supplies Paul Onuachu? Do we play to that? Do we play that kind of football? Then, who are the other strikers that can deputize to, in the absence of these two strikers, we have Tolu Kodare. Okay. Will the players like Boniface ever get a chance again around the team? Looks very... Maybe at the moment, maybe the best he can get is being named in the preliminary squad. To get into the final squad, I seriously doubt it for a player like Boniface at the moment. But talk about players that we need. We were still mentioning some names upstairs today. And look at our goalkeeping department, for example. Someone like me feels it's high time we probably roll the dice again and see
we should ditch a performing goalkeeper.
What level of competition do we really have in that goalkeeping department? We have one in South Africa, we have one in the Italian Serie A. Who is the best among these guys? If I was a coach too during the World Cup qualifiers, I wouldn't want to drop Stanley Nwabali for any other goalkeeper. But now that that process has ended, if we are really rolling the dice again, I see no reason why Okoye should not be getting the shot. But then this is just about squad in the first place. So I think we are good to go. It's just about who becomes the third goalkeeper or the fourth goalkeeper going into the tournament. For defenders, I think we are not so spoiled for choices. Especially with the fact that Benjamin Frederick, who is going to be some of the revelations of the tournament, is already injured.
So what happens? We are hearing Trust Ekong
wants
is
to retire,
considering retirement.
Exactly, but
we have Olaino who has been injured. He was injured for Nigeria at a World Cup qualifying game. The best are injured. So
that we have to look elsewhere. One of the names we can call is this guy in Czech Republic, Igor Ogbu. He's been invited at some point into the national team too. We also had this guy from Werder Bremen as well. I can't seem to... I think his name is Hagu or something. Fair-skinned guy. He was called up for the games in Jamaica sometimes in May. Those are names we can look at too. There is Olisanda somewhere in South Africa too, who has sometimes...
He has always been in and around the national
team as well. Then there are names everywhere. There is Gabriel Osho. I think in Cardiff City now. He used to be with Auxerre in France, but I think he's in the championship now. But if you ask me, we are not so spoiled for choice when it comes to defense, because if you put all of them on paper, you really don't know, oh, this is outstanding, this is exceptional. They just all seem to be on the same level, except for Calvin Bassey, who you say, okay, this guy is a stand-up player, rock solid defender. Then in the midfield as well, we'll keep saying it. We have loads of defensive midfielders, but then we still need a creative midfielder. Where do we get one going into the AFCON too? Those are the kind of problems we need to be solving going into this tournament. For strikers, as long as we have very good deputies for Victor Osimhen, we should be good to go. On the wings too, we have players we can rely on any day, anytime. Chukwueze is hitting form. Moses Simon is there. Ademola Lookman is gradually getting back into his group. So I think we have players everywhere. We just need to solve certain problems from the goalkeeping to the defense to the midfield and some partial problems in attack.
All right. Can we win the AFCON?
Yes, we can win the AFCON. We were second at the last edition. That is
with a strong squad. Do we have a strong squad?
We still have a strong squad. That is enough motivation to want to go one step further. But it becomes a problem because, especially when Morocco is hosting, and it becomes a problem because, again, there are other contenders around. The defending champions will be back, the host will be back. Then you, as old takers, want to come back to come and win a fourth continental title. Every country can feel confident that they can win the AFCON, and Nigeria has a right to do so.
All right, just before we go, 30 seconds for the NPFL. Ikorodu City now topping the table.
On goal difference.
On goal difference, of course, there's Nasarawa United as well. Plateau United is somewhere in relegation. I'm wondering how Plateau United, Peace Boys, have found themselves in. I mean, Sunshine that was really, sorry, I said Sunshine. 3SC that was really on top at some point is now somewhere in the middle.
3SC's case is funny because for all the sense of organization that we see, for all the
paparazzi,
they haven't really won so many games this season. And they are just dangling in the middle of the table.
And then there's Remo Stars battling survival.
And for all of Remo Stars' struggles as well, as bad as they look in front of everybody, they are above 3SC.
Yeah.
That we think they are not struggling.
Perhaps it's the level of what you expect from your first match, what you expect from last.
So it's just reality versus
paparazzi.
Exactly.
So who will likely win the league this season? I know it's still early days, but you know.
Yeah, it's still early days, but I think the most likely team at this point is Rivers United, who are chopping hell on the continent as well. But trust them when they come. Trust them when
time has gone. We have spoken about Rivers United last game at the Champions League. 87 minutes they were leading. 88 minutes they were leading 1-0.
90 plus they were
90 leading. Minutes they were leading and they lost that game 2-1. If you've not seen the highlights, please go and check it. Finidi George was frustrated and somebody said sometimes you begin to wonder what is going on sometimes when you watch certain games.
Yeah.
In Formula 1, it's gone crazy. Lando Norris and his teammates have somehow almost thrown it away and allowing Max Verstappen come into that. Biodun, Formula 1 right now, one last race remaining, and you are wondering if Verstappen, who has been nowhere all season, may just be coming from behind to go past Lando and go past, what's his name again now? Oh my goodness, name of his teammates escapes my mind. I may just be winning it. But every time he's not a friend, I'm happy it's time for us to wrap up. A very big thank you to Abel already for being a part of this production. The biggest of thanks belongs to you out there, viewers, because like I always say, we are here because you are there. Have yourselves a fantastic week and a wonderful December. A dirty December, some call it. I don't know how clean or dirty you want your December to be. But stay out of trouble and God bless you.